Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to the lecture of the electronics. In this lecture, we will discuss about the operational amplifier. First of all, let's define what is operational amplifier. Uh, Operational amplifier is a device. It is device used to perform various various operations. And what are these operations? These operations I will say additions. We can add two input signals, subtractions, and integrations. Mean we can integrate the input signals. Similarly, differentiations, com comparisons. These are the various operations through which we can perform with the help of the operational amplifier, and like addition, subtraction, integration, differentiation, and comparison. If we give its input signal, that it will perform. For example, it can add the two input signal, it can subtract the two input signal, integrate the input signal, and similarly differentiate and compare the two input signal whether it is to be greater or less, and we will discuss one by one. Now, common and characteristics feature of the operational amplifier. What are the what is its signs and symbols, and what are its common feature that works, that the basics, some principle on which it works. Symbols for operational amplifier is symbol for operational amplifier is this one. This is invertings and this is non-invertings, and this is our output terminals. So it contains two input terminal. This is inverting. Inverting means if you give input like this one, for example, this the output will be one out of phase. Means it will give you output like one out of phase. So it will invert the input signal. And the second is non-inverting. If you give the input like this one, so it will cause no change in the output. Mean there will be phi or delta phi is equal to 0 in the non-inverting case. When you give, there will be no phase change, but in the inverting there will be 180 phase change in the input signal and the output signal. Okay, the next feature are characteristics feature. Next point is characteristic feature of operational amplifier, or characteristic feature of an ideal operational amplifier. What is its importance points? Characteristics feature of operational amplifier. Okay, the first important point is about is that input impedance is very high. Input impedance should be very high. Should be high. No, should be high. No, I will going to explain it later. Open loop gain is infinity, and similarly the what they mean by input impedance and what they mean by output loop gain. What are these terms? Let me explain this first, what this term represent. So if I insert another input and output what are the input and the output impedance and open loop gain. Okay, if you look at the diagram, this is the symbol of practical operational amplifier. In this, you can see that ideal operational amplifier. The resistance between the input inverting and non-inverting terminal is infinity. Means there will be no leakage of current from negative to the positive. Its input resistance, it is represented by Z in input impedance or input resistance. This is infinity. There is a no current flow between the inverting and non-inverting. If you give the input at negative terminals, there will be no chances of going to its to positive terminal. And the second is output impedance. I mean the resistance between the output terminal and the ground terminal. The output terminal and the ground terminal, this one is zero. So the output impedance is should be zero for ideals, or I will say that ideal operational amplifier. And the second point, the third point is that its open loop gain should be very high. What we mean the open loop gain? Okay, let me define it. The open loop gain is represented by AOL, and it is the ratio of output voltage divided by difference of inverting minus non-inverting minus inverting, difference between the input voltage. So this value of this is almost 10 power 5. So this is very high. It means these two should be very low. The difference of the input between this should be low because the open loop gain is very high. Open loop gain means this output signal will not goes back to input signal. For example, if we obtain here some inputs like in this output will not goes back to again as inputs. So in this case we have two output. The first is closed output gain and open output gain. So here in this case we have open loop gain. The output will not feed back to as inputs. So output here is 10 power 5. It means if this value is very large, the input this should be very small. So what is its small value? Its small value is equal to the minimum value of it is equal to 0. It means this value is large, this should be very small, and the smallest value is equal to 0. So if we go to other side, so V plus minus R is equal to V minus. Mean for ideal operational amplifier, the potential of inverting and non-inverting terminals are equal. So this is the third condition of the ideal operational amplifier. So we have discussed three conditions. The first one is input resistance should be very high, output resistance should be low, that is the resistance between the output and the ground, and this should be high, infinite, I will say infinite. Okay, and the third one is open loop gain. Open loop gain should be high. Open loop gain should be high. These are the condition for the ideal operation amplifiers. And next, is internal block diagram of operational amplifier. What is inside the operational amplifier? A typical operational amplifier made up of three-stage amplifier. The first one, if we look inside of the operational amplifier, the first one is differential amplifier input stage. The second is voltage amplifier gain stage, and third is push-pull amplifier or output stage. The first one is a the first differential amplifier is the input stage for the operational amplifier. It provide amplification of the difference voltage between the two inputs. Mean it provide the large difference of the input voltage. And for the second stage is usually class A amplifier that provide additional gain. Mean that provide just enhance amplify the input voltage. And the third one is जो push pull class B amplifier is typically used for the output stage, used to extract the output voltage.